All right, folks, John Rush Drive Radio. I want to give you guys some winter driving tips. We're going to start doing a series of different tips and things that you guys need to know about, especially for some of those that are novice and or folks that are new to Colorado. Just a little background, Colorado native. I've lived here my entire life. Yes, I know how to drive in the snow. It's not all that difficult. One of the biggest, I should say, assets to driving in the snow, having the right vehicle and making sure that vehicle, being the right vehicle, is prepared properly. Well, what do you do to make sure things are prepared? Number one, biggest pet peeve I have of mine here in Colorado, tires. All right, folks, one of the biggest pet peeves I've got with any vehicle, especially here in Colorado when it snows out, is nobody typically has the right kind of tires on their vehicle. Doesn't matter if it's all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, you name it, most people don't have proper tires. What do I mean by proper tires? A, you need a winter tire to drive on in the snow. You also need to make sure it has the proper tread depth. So as you head into the winter months, one of the first things you need to do is check tread depth. I'm one that says you need at least 50% or better heading into the winter on tire tread depth. How do you check that? Best thing to do is have a gauge, go to a shop, have them check it for you. If not, you can do the quarter test, although I'll tell you, just using the top of a quarter, and if the head actually is visible, that means the tire is good. I mean, if the head is covered up, I should say, top of the head is covered up, that means the tire is good. Although that's minimum, that's borderline. I really feel like you need to have at least 50% of the tread depth of that particular tire. And as you can see, and these tires are fairly new. This is my personal vehicle. This is a mud snow type tire. Very, these have got a lot of tread left. You can see these are fairly new. But again, you want to head into the winter with really good solid tires. And the reason for that is as the tire wears, it will not clean itself as well as it should, thereby allowing the tire itself to build up with snow, pack down, and not have the ability to have the traction that it should have. All right, folks, another thing you need to make sure of in winter driving is wiper blades, wiper fluid. Make sure windshield wipers are working properly, good solid blades. And I'm one that says in our high altitude with our UV rays, wiper blades should be put on annually, if not semi-annually, depending upon how much you drive. And make sure your windshield washer fluid is not just the cheap blue kind, but the higher end fluid that doesn't freeze when we get into some of the cold temperatures that we have, especially here in Colorado. So again, wiper blades, wiper fluid, one more thing you need to check for winter driving. Folks, another tip for winter driving is general maintenance on the vehicle. You want to make sure that everything is maintained like it should. Coolant. Again, talked about washer fluid a moment ago. Tires I've already talked about. You want to make sure that brakes are in good working order, that all the systems on the vehicle are working properly. And I'm not talking nav, audio, that kind of stuff. I mean systems like, is the defroster working like it should? Do you have the proper heat? Is the engine cooling like it should? Are the tire pressures correct? Those sorts of things. When it comes to systems, alignment, suspension, all the things the vehicle takes to operate properly, that's very important when it comes to winter driving. One last thing is just how to drive in snow. Biggest thing, slow down a little bit. Make sure you're giving yourself plenty of room. But don't go so slow that you're now impeding traffic and becoming the obstacle everybody else is trying to get around. If you're that afraid to drive in the snow, just stay home, stay off the roads, and don't get out in the first place. If you're going to be out, though, drive with traffic, give yourself some room, and some of the key things to do. Stay out of the ruts. Most roads, most highways especially, develop ruts from the big trucks driving on them. Stay out of those ruts. Drive up on the crown, not down in the rut. That helps you maintain control, not hydroplane, things along those lines. Make sure you maintain visibility. The other thing too to do that most people don't, make sure the vehicle is totally brushed off before you go to get in the vehicle that morning or that afternoon or evening. So if you park someplace where you don't have the ability to be inside, get the snow brush out. Make sure all your ice is off. Make sure all the snow is off. Make sure you're visible. You can see everything. On top of that, basically make sure that you're slowing down and maintain control at all times. Use the systems on the vehicle correctly. If you have a four-wheel drive, make sure you lock it in. Make sure you put it into the auto four-wheel drive mode or just the four-wheel drive mode in general. If you're driving an all-wheel drive car, make sure you're using the snow feature if it's got that on that vehicle. If it's a front-wheel drive vehicle, back to the tires and all of that. Literally, I have gone many places with just a front-wheel drive vehicle, places where a lot of people with four-wheel drives can't go, all because you just drive right, drive carefully, know exactly what you're doing. The other thing to do is if you're on a hill and you've stopped, make sure you can start again, or don't stop. Keep the momentum going of the vehicle. Don't stop on that hill. Give yourself the room to where you just continue to creep up and don't have to stop at all. Many other driving tips. We'll get into more of these on Drive Radio, but again, just a few winter driving tips, I should say, snow tips if you would, driving in the snow here in Colorado. And again, this is Drive Radio. John Rush, your host.